Hey everybody, welcome to the Vinyl channel. I'm that Vinyl Guy Boss. By the way, if you're curious what these little blue things are, I'm pretty sure you probably see them in the video, but this is a wireless headset that I'm recording the audio from. I'm trying to do this because sometimes I put records in front of me and my voice goes down on the output. I see that, so I'm trying something new. It worked pretty good in my last video, so I'm gonna keep doing this. So this is going to be another Lost Classics of the 1990s. This is a thread started by JC over at the Flip Side, and once again I'll put his link down below. Now this is the second video of this thread. I will put a is it up here? I never know which side it is. I think it's up here. I'll put a card up above if you want to see my very first video, Classics of the 1990s, where I did singles from 1990. This is going to be singles from 1991, and then you guessed it, pretty soon I'll do the singles from 1992 and hopefully go through the whole entire decade of the 1990s. A few of them actually were released in 1990, but my criteria is that they charted in the US, first charted in the US in 1990, so that's the criteria I use. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the very first one I have here is EMF and Unbelievable. So this was written and recorded by British band EMF, released as a single in the UK of October of 1990, where in the UK it peaked at number 3. By the way, that was my dog. His name is Bruce. He's an amazing dog. He likes to photobomb or video bomb sometimes. If you see him walking in the background, he has free run of the house. So that's Bruce. So anyway, so this here is, once again, EMF. So it did peak in the UK at number 3. However, it was not released in the US as a single until 1991, where it went all the way to number 1 on the Hot 100 charts. And I will show you here what the actual label of the 45 looks like. Okay, moving on to number 2, we have Bonnie Raitt. So here it is here. This is I Can't Make You Love Me. This is the single edit. So this was released on her 11th studio album, Luck of the Draw. It went all the way to number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100. This song also ranked at number 339 on Rolling Stones magazine's 500 greatest songs of all time. But there we go. That's the second release, and that's Bonnie Raitt, I Can't Make You Love Me. Okay, moving on to number 3, we have Time, Love, and Tenderness by Michael Bolton, released off of the album of the same name in 1991. So this went all the way to number 28 in the UK, and it reached number 7 in the US. But it's a great song. I do like Michael Bolton. Don't tell anybody, okay? It'll be our secret. But there we go. And but there you go. Michael Bolton, Time, Love, and Tenderness. Okay, moving on to number 4, we have Everybody Plays the Fool. Now this is a song that was originally released in 1972 by the group known as The Main Ingredient. This is Aaron Neville's cover of it that he released in 1991. So and it went all the way to number 8 on the US charts. But Aaron Neville actually does a really awesome cover of the song. And so there you go. That's Aaron Neville, Everybody Plays the Fool. Okay, and coming in at number 5, we have the Motown Song. This was performed by Rod Stewart featuring the Temptations. This is a song from his 16th studio album, Vagabond, right? And this peaked at number 10 on the Billboard chart. So a great song by Rod Stewart. Again, this is the Motown Song. Okay, so we're moving on to REM. There are actually 2 singles that were released in 1991 that I could have used for this video. I decided to use this one, Shiny Happy People, mainly because I like the song better, and also because REM appeared on The Muppet Show and did a version of the song, but called Shiny Happy Monsters. If you've never seen that skit by REM on The Muppet Show, it's on YouTube. I'll put a link below down in the description if you want to check it out. It's a great bit, and REM does such a great job singing along with the monsters. And again, it was called Shiny Happy Monsters. But let's get back to this. So this here is Shiny Happy People by American rock band REM. And it was the second single from their seventh studio album, Out of Time. It peaked at number 10 on the US Billboard charts, but it's a great song by REM. It's probably one of my favorites by them. You just don't hear it very much anymore these days. So usually you hear the other one, Losing My Religion. That one's much more common to hear on like Sirius XM and stuff like that. This one you just don't hear that often, which is why it's on my Lost Classics list. Okay, moving on to number 7, we have Seal with Crazy. So this was actually a song that was written by him in 1990, inspired by the fall of the Berlin Wall. The song was released in the UK in 1990, where it peaked at number 2. But the song was released in the US as a single in 1991, and in the US it went all the way to number 7 on the Billboard charts. But it's a great song. I really like Seal a lot. I have a lot of his 45s. I think I have 1 or 2 of his LPs. But there you go, that's Seal, Crazy. So we're moving on to number 8. I'm going to turn my little cheat sheet here that I used up here in the corner. That's not behaving right now. There we go. So now we're moving on to number 8. This here is I Touch Myself by the Divinyls. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. It was released as a single in the US in 1991. It peaked at number 4 on the Hot 100. It's a great song. So there you go. This is Touch Myself, and this is the Divinyls. All right, now number 9. So this here is an interesting record. So first of all, I'm talking about it. This is It's Not Over Till It's Over by Lenny Kravitz. It's his second. It's a release from his second studio album, Mama Said. The single was released in 1981. I believe the album was as well. So this is the second single off the album, and it's Kravitz's first top 10 hit in the US, reaching all the way to number 2. So what's very interesting about this 45 is that it is a UK jukebox only release. Now, I do have about maybe a dozen of these in my collection, maybe 10 or so, or a dozen. What they do is they put this black text on this black label. It's actually not really text. I think it's actually, you can feel it, so it's actually raised a little bit maybe, but they put this black text on this black label. I don't really know why they do this. It may save the money. Maybe it's an ink issue. They do this a lot with the UK jukebox only releases of 45s. So, but anyways, this here is Lenny Kravitz. It's Not Over Till It's Over. Okay, so we're down to the last 6 here. So this here is number 10. This here is Toad the Wet Sprocket. All I Want. This is a UK release of the 45 of the 45 vinyl, but this did chart in the US at number 15 on the Hot 100. So there we go. Again, this is Toad the Wet Sprocket, All I Want. Okay, moving on to number 11. I'm not sure how to pronounce this artist. I don't know if it's Jesus Jones or Jesus Jones, either one, but this is a 7-inch record, and it just has a song on it right here, right now, which was released in the UK in September of 1990, peaking at number 31, but in the US, it did not enter the Billboard charts until April of 1991, peaking at number 2. It went on to sell over 1 million copies. So it has this real nice, cool artwork on the back of the record. Let me see if I can go ahead and give you a glimpse of this artwork. Pretty cool. But this is the 7-inch single. I think this was issued on a picture sleeve, but unfortunately, I'm not sure, but unfortunately my copy, or at least when I bought it, it was in a plain white sleeve. So, but it's still a great song by him. Again, Jesus Jones, Right Here, Right Now. Okay, moving on to number 12. This here is going to be the first country song on this list. So this here is Diamond Rio, Meet in the Middle. This is off of Diamond Rio's debut album. This was the album's first single, and the single went all the way to number 1 on the US country charts. But there you go. This is, I do like Diamond Rio a lot. I was not familiar with this band until my wife introduced me to them. But Great band, great song, Meet in the Middle. Okay, so moving on to number 13, we have Smells Like Teen Spirit from Nirvana. This is the opening track from the band's second album, Nevermind, released in 1991. Great song, it's grunge, but it's a great song, and it went all the way to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it peaked at number 7 on the UK singles chart, whatever they call their charts, I forget. But there you go, this here is Smells Like Teen Spirit and Nirvana. Okay, so we have 2 left, down to the last 2. So this here is another country single. This here is Joe Diffie, If the Devil Danced in Empty Pockets. So this was released as a single April 1991, reaching all the way to number 1 on the US country charts. I really like Joe Diffie a lot. Probably my favorite song of his is Third Rock from the Sun. I think that's maybe 93, 94, or later on. I'm not really sure, but I'll probably feature that on a later video. But I do like this song as well. Okay, last but not least, we have Love of a Lifetime by Firehouse. This is the band's 3rd single. And in the US, it went all the way to number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. This song is used a lot in weddings, so sometimes it's the very first dance. But there you go. This here is Love of a Lifetime by American rock band Firehouse. Okay, and that's my Lost Classics of the 1990s. This is my second installment from 1991. Again, I do want to thank JC for starting this thread. And I'm not the only one. There are other people that just keep this going. So I will be back with 1992 at some point, probably not too far in the future. I do want to thank everybody for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time.